Hello everybody, Sky Marshal here in the Eagle's Nest, bringing you the wrap-up video to 2024, the Sky Marshal Cup. And it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun with the boys. I know one night I had a little bit too much to drink, and I was grateful that Madman Dan took up the reins just to help finish off the turn. Not proud of it, but yeah, it was minor. I was just busy. Going around tables on my phone, just doing lots of stuff. But it was a great time and a great event, and I'm very happy to say that everybody, I think, enjoyed themselves too, from far and wide. So much, in fact, that the Mountaineer, Bob, he came all the way from Pennsylvania with his partner, and gave me something, and to also General Hand Grenade, that was actually very nice. And it was, I guess it's kind of a military tradition, but he gave me this coin here, and I guess if you're in the Army, you know all about these. And basically he told me a little spiel about it, and then basically if you don't have your coin, when a coin's presented to you got to buy a drink. And he was a colonel in the U.S. Army, and this means a lot to me. Little things like this may not mean much to some people, but for me, this is. And proud to say, he's retired now, of course, but he's the most highly ranked individual I've ever had walk through my doors. And so that was an honor to have him here too. And it was great to meet him, because he's the designer of many games out there, co-designer with Global War 1914, and even the new Curse game that might be donning its presence here with historical board gaming. So once again, thank you, Bob, for that. That's great. That is awesome. I really admire that. Moreover, with the game itself, we were behind, and I say we, table Nagumo was behind table Fletcher, and we weren't even thinking we were going to win the tournament. We were thinking, well, we might get second place, but first seems so far away. And it turns out we were a little bit off. We were a little bit wrong with that assessment. Now, looking at our victory points here, I was counting everything wrong. Well, I shouldn't say everything wrong, but I was assuming that we were one victory city down from the other table, but then I didn't realize, even though General Hand Grenade and Commander Rect had gotten Sydney on their table, but they hadn't got Calcutta, and that was the difference that actually led to equal numbers. So there were 6 victory cities taken by the Axis, or 6 total in possession, I should say, on both tables. But that was the difference between table Fletcher, is that they had taken Sydney and we had taken Calcutta. So that was 6 points right there, obviously an important 6 points. And then if you go down here, this is where the points were really getting dicey. And we had lost access to resources for a brief bit battling the Russians, but we were able to secure it again. And for the most part, those 2 points probably were going to be in the bag, potentially, for the next turn or two. It's hard to say, because of course I noticed the Australians on the last turn before the turn ended built a transport. Obviously they were going to try to spoil our victory points, as well as having the Americans come into India. So we obviously had to try to defend Calcutta as a victory point. But also, of course, the Americans had oodles of transports in there, and they could have gobbled up some of our victory points and taken them away that way too, and not even gone after Tokyo. But nonetheless, we were fortunate with that, and secured that. And the 2 Italian victory points were very important. Now, on table Fletcher, they also got those too, but we were very happy to get those under Madman Dan's leadership of the Italians, because I know we had lost it when the Americans landed in Cyprus. We got it back. We lost it again when they took Greece, and that's a hard victory point for the Italians to maintain. But obviously you can see here, the Italians went after the French and British. We were able to reclaim that victory point. And that's the nice thing about having lots of airborne in this game. Airborne and air transports, it gives you options, and you can't protect everything. So that was very fortunate indeed to get those 2 victory points. And the Italians, seizing Cape Town and running amok down here, really did occupy not only the Free French, but the British too. So, and Festung Europa, sometimes that's hard to get to, but we were lucky enough to grab it and hold on to it. And the Spanish Civil War, just at the end, when we needed that victory point, the Spanish Civil War turned in our favor, and we were able to eliminate all the Republicans. And because of that, then indeed, that all went our way to the Spanish. And so we were able to hold that and hopefully hold it for a considerable time until the Allies would come and try to take it back, which thankfully they didn't have that option. Or at least not in the foreseeable future, unless they decided to do some diversions. But then again, that would also lighten up the attacks on Festung Europa. The Italians were railed into the coast of Normandy, or the Atlantic Wall, I should say, as well as German support. So the Germans really did have it, I think, in some ways, secure enough not to worry about it. But like I say, you can always look at the British trying to spoil things, and that's where the Italians might have to pick up the hand. But nonetheless, we were breathing a sigh of relief when we got rid of all Russian involvement up in Amur there in Primorsky Krai, giving us the breathing room so that we could focus more on naval events in the Pacific, because we obviously didn't want to lose our victory points, and we wanted to keep everything that we've gained as Japan. And I'm happy with the help of Madman Dan, the Japanese empire I was left with at the end of the war, stretching as far east as Calcutta, as far south at one point to the Northern Territory of Australia, but definitely in as far east as the Gambler Islands, which I guess is good, and as far north as I believe Magadan or Amur up there in Russia. So we had really, really good coverage, and all the spots in between were occupied by Japanese forces. Always a battle with Allied submarines and other units, but nonetheless, we came through, and very happy with my partner, Madman Dan. So super excited about our victory, 2 years in a row winning it. And with my partner, like I say, Madman Dan's a legend. I won't be playing with him next year, not that I don't want to, but I always like to change things up. I'm going to seek a different partner. And we'll see if he wants to play. I think he's already showed some interest that he wouldn't mind playing with me. But like I say, in due time, a year's a long way away, and I'm not even sure what nation I'm going to play. Soviets would be nice, but at the same token, like I say, we'll play it by ear. But I always love playing with a partner. Gives you a little bit of a break, but more so for me, just because I'm running the tournament, it does make a big difference to have that partner, right? Back to game recap. It was nice that when our Africa Corps went down to reinforce the Italians, they headed north, started taking some territory back, helping securing Calcutta, but then retreated back into Iran and helped take Transcaucasia, therefore having the Turkish elements go to the Axis, which definitely helped put more pressure on the Russians on the southern border as well as on the western border. And I know we had a big Soviet battle here, our tank battle. We had our basically Kursk battle in southern Belarusia there, and it was pretty close to a draw, but I think a tactical victory for the Axis, which was obviously something that we needed. Time was obviously the biggest thing that we needed to have on our side, and we were lucky enough to have that until the dice was favorable and rolled a 3, and we got out of the war and got our victory conditions. But really cool to see a lot of these sculpts over here. You can see the tanks, mechanized heavy tanks, and for that matter, even the Soviets and all their pieces. Katyushas, T-38s, everything. Just really nice to see all that represented on the board here. Even the Italians brought up some of their medium armor and stuff. Even took Smolensk at the end, just helping cause a lot of chaos. But you can see, still, there was a lot of elements here, a lot of forces in the bigger cities. But had we had more time, maybe we would have lost victory points, but maybe gained more, maybe gained Lebensraum. But that's always a tough victory point to get. Not to mention the CCP and the KMT were still alive and well in 2 territories or multiple territories in eastern China. So even the Mongolians were still alive. They had one cavalry up here to cause havoc. So, but yeah, all in all, great times, great time. And also nice to see strategic rockets being built in this game. I think the Americans had one over here. But yeah, it was really cool to have strategic rockets, and you could see the damage that it inflicted in certain areas, even in the Blitz, bombing British factories. A lot of damage that the British couldn't repay back, because I think at one point we probably had built about 20 advanced submarines. These were the remnants left over, but just crucial in destroying the income and convoying for the British Empire. One nice thing, we always have our peer driven awards, and I want to say Joel ended up winning the most strategic commander. He won his actually second Iron Cross in a row, so that was really cool. Hence, I think that would give him a Iron Cross with oak leaves if you were, symbolizing another award, or Iron Cross second class, Iron Cross first class, and so on and so forth. Usually that's how it goes. But regardless, very happy for him to get it. And I believe, who was it? The Order of the Sky Marshal was given to both Soviet players on the board, which was really nice to see. And I'm trying to remember if it was Graham, or if it was Nathan who got, I think, the most diplomatic commander. I think it was the Order of the October Revolution. I think that was Graham, or Friendly Fire, that won that. So good on him. But the prize I wanted was most honorable, and I wanted to get the Order of the Rising Sun. And the voters listened to me, and I was happy enough to accept this. Like I say, it's just a fun little thing for us, but it'll go really, really nice to my most diplomatic one there when we won it back in 2021. So that'll look great up there, along with the other YouTube awards there. And last but definitely not least, I gotta give a big shout out to Historical Board Gaming for help sponsoring this event. Really made a big difference. I put a lot of my own money into this, of which I will not disclose, but a lot of money. But it's passion and love. And even with the high entry fee of $200, that basically pays for our food. I got our catering bill, and basically that just paid for the food for everybody over 3 days. And honestly, that's fine. That's totally worth it. But I really do thank Historical Board Gaming and Mr. Doug Friend for giving me this very lovely award, to the Sky Marshal Champion of Order, Detail, and Hospitality, honored for exemplary hosting and organizational skills in global war. So that definitely means a lot to me, and I'll have a place for this in the war room somewhere. Not sure where it was or where we're going to put it, but that is great. That is awesome. And ultimately, that's what I love doing. I love giving, right? I love giving a lot to the community, giving back. When I started watching General Hand Grenades videos and Hilltop's videos, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. These guys are great orators. They're great explainers. They're great educators of the game. And this is awesome. And then, you start subscribing to other people. They start their own YouTube channels, and the community grows and grows and grows to the point where, you know what? Board games aren't dead. Computer games are not all and everything. Still the fun tactile of playing with little plastic army men, as General Hand Grenade says, is, nothing beats it, nothing tops it. I mean, look at the details over here. Even I built super subs and I made them the I-400 class, right? There's just so much endless stuff you can do with a World War II game that is finite, but it never ends, right? Constantly, I've repainted Australian pieces, I think the second time now, and even the Canadians that are now white, repainted those too as well. It's just, this game is so much fun, and just painting these pieces behind these pieces, decking out your board is just as much fun as actually playing this very elaborate World War II game. And I love it, and I tip my hat to Historical Board Gaming. It's changed my life. Changed my bank account too, but I'm sure you guys understand all about that. But regardless, those were our victory points. We gave away our medals, because this is sometimes what people accept. Sometimes they will not accept some of the other awards, the medal ribbon stuff, the general stars, and I get that sometimes if you have a military background, but all good, no worries. This is ultimately what looks like it's on your chest with the bronze awards, and then of course the medals. Once again, these are not earned, these are souvenirs. We don't wear these out of this room. It's just something to remember the sacrifice and everything that was done back then. So all the events, the horrors, the triumphs, everything. So ultimately, the Sky Marshal Cup will have many more years to it. The 5th year will probably be one of the final years we may do the medal ribbon system and go on to something different. But nonetheless, you can see all the first place winners right here, starting with 2021 all the way there. And next year, our 5-year anniversary will be a big one. That is for sure. So anyways, guys, my final notes on the 2024 Sky Marshal Cup. After this video is done, this board will be packed up for a new little project that will be having some fun. It'll be actually a new YouTube war, and you can look for the trailer on that, and that'll be coming out soon. But obviously I got my work cut out for me for that. But until I see you, everybody, you guys stay classy, and we'll see you for another game. Cheers.